Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be signs that your first period is coming. So basically just first period signs and symptoms, because I'm betting that if you clicked on this video, you're probably feeling a mix of emotions about having a period in the future, like being excited or worried or nervous or scared, and all of those are completely valid emotions. So I really hope that with this video I'm able to guide you to see if you are feeling the signs and symptoms that are telling you that you are going to get your first period soon. I remember I looked up so many of these videos before I got my period when I was 13. I'm 14 now. These videos really helped me out, and so I hope that I'm able to help you out with this video. Honestly, I was really weirdly excited to get my period, and now looking back, I wish that I wasn't as excited, because there's literally nothing to be excited about. I actually applaud those out there who are worried and scared and nervous, because who would want to bleed out of their body for a week every month for like 50 years? But it's also a very exciting time in your life. It's a very momentous occasion when you get your period. So if you're excited, I totally relate to that, because I remember how excited I was for that moment in my life. This video is going to tell you whether or not you're about to get your period soon. Before we get into this video, please like this video and comment down below why you're here. Like if you think you're getting your first period soon, or if you're curious about when you think you're gonna get your first period, or if you just want to know like what you should be on the lookout for. That'll tell you when you're about to get your first period. And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more period related content and teen lifestyle videos. And yeah, I don't want to talk anymore, so let's get into the video. So the first and honestly main sign that your first period is coming soon is that you will be so moody. And it'll be like any mood. You could be more emotional, angry, sad, irritable. You could be any mix of moody emotions. Before I got my first period on November 6, 2020, I was a complete emotional. I literally cried at everything. I was angry at everything. I was getting in fights with my family a lot more because I was really irritable. And I honestly regret acting that way, but like, it was my hormones, it was my emotions. It's literally scientifically proven that when your body is preparing to have a period, and when you're just getting a period in general, that you're not as happy. So I have my computer right here, and I just looked up the actual scientific reason, so I'm gonna read that right now. The exact reason for sadness and PMS before and during your period are not definitively known. However, experts believe that the drop in estrogen and progesterone, which occurs after ovulation, is a trigger. These hormones reduce production of serotonin, a chemical neurotransmitter. And if you don't know what serotonin is, I honestly don't even know, but it's like the chemical that makes you feel happy. And so if the production of that is reduced, no wonder you're feeling more moody and more sad and angrier and all of that. So yeah, that is a huge sign and symptom that your first period is on its way. The second sign and symptom that is probably not true for everyone, because of course everyone's different, but it was so true for me. You will be hungry all the time. Again, it is scientifically proven that when you're about to get your period, you get hungrier. Even if we're not talking scientifically, your body is preparing to release tons of blood for like the rest of its life. So it's only natural that you would be hungry. I was just so hungry leading up to getting my period. Like, it was weird. I was never that hungry. Like, I was always like hungry, of course, but like I was always hungry. If I ate like a burger, like pizza, pasta, I would still be absolutely starving. But it is actually scientifically proven. In the week before your period, you might feel more hungry due to changes in your hormones. And I could infer from this that like it's not just the week before your period, it's like when you're leading up to getting your first period in general. You will have increased levels of progesterone and decreased levels of estrogen. And estrogen can have the effect of suppressing your appetite, while progesterone is linked to an increase in appetite. So obviously if you are having an increase in progesterone, you're having an increase in appetite. So if you're feeling a lot hungrier than usual, I would say that that is a sign that your first period could be on its way. The third sign and symptom that your first period is on its way is that you will feel bloated a lot of the time. If you don't know what bloated means, it like feels like your stomach and your like abdomen area is swollen with fluid or like gas. It's like a really unpleasant feeling being bloated, and it makes your stomach look bigger than it actually is. So if you've been noticing that more lately, your first period is probably on its way. It is again scientifically proven that bloating happens because you're about to get a period. Bloating before and during a period may result from changes in levels of the hormones progesterone and estrogen. About a week before a woman's period starts, levels of the hormone progesterone fall, and reduced levels of progesterone cause the uterus to shed its lining, which is what causes menstrual bleeding. And so it's literally all your hormones. Puberty is triggered by hormones, by like your pituitary gland or something. And so when you're going through puberty, when you're about to get your period, your hormones are just all over the place. So if you're feeling sicker than usual or more bloated than usual, then that is why. It's because you're about to get your first period, or because you're close to getting your first period. These symptoms can honestly happen months before you get your first period, or even like a year or two before you get your first period. I actually got this explained to me by my doctor, and she basically said that when you're leading up to having a period, your ovaries and like your fallopian tubes are like trying to like going through the motions, but like they can't actually release the egg yet, and they can't actually ovulate yet, but they're like practicing. So these symptoms that you're feeling might be because your body is practicing, which is a good sign because it means obviously your body's preparing to one day actually be able to ovulate and actually be able to like release the egg and all that and actually have a period. Don't think that your period isn't coming just because you feel these symptoms and then they're gone and then they come back and then they're gone and then you like get your period or something. The female body is just like so unpredictable, and so these symptoms mean that your first period is coming soon, but like it might not be like the next day from when you're realizing that you're getting those symptoms. The fourth sign and symptom that you are going to get your first period soon, and this is a major one, it is that you will go through a huge growth spurt in not just height but in weight too. Girls typically have a growth spurt in the 1 to 2 years before menstruation starts, and they grow just 1 to 2 additional inches in the year or two after getting their first period. So basically the reason why you're going to grow in height before you get your first period is because your body's preparing to, because you don't really grow that much after getting your first period. And that really upsets me because I am like 5'1", barely 5'2", and I wanted to grow more, but it's been over a half a year since I got my first period and I'm like not growing that much more. I'm hoping to grow like another inch, but yeah, that's why your body's just getting out all the inches that it can before you get your first period. So if you're noticing that you went through a growth spurt in height, that could be a sign that you're getting your first period soon. And the reason why you could be gaining weight before you get your first period is not only because when you grow and get taller you gain weight because your bones are getting bigger, which requires more weight in your body, but it's actually again because of stupid hormones. Hormonal changes can cause weight gain by increasing water retention in the days before your period. Honestly, it says the days here, but like I would even say the weeks. Before you get your period, estrogen and progesterone rapidly decrease, as we already went over, and this tells your body that it's time to begin menstruation. Estrogen and progesterone also control the way your body regulates fluid, so you'll basically be holding on to more water, which is why you'll be noticing that you might be a little heavier than usual. It's so completely normal, obviously, because it's your hormones causing it, and hormones are completely normal and natural. I went from being like barely 5 feet to 5'1", like right before I got my period, which was so weird. And I also noticed that I gained more weight, which I've been insecure about, but like I gained more weight obviously because I was about to get my period. So if you are noticing a growth spurt in either your height or your weight, or both, because as we went over, when you get taller you gain weight, then that could be a sign that your first period is coming soon. The fifth sign and symptom that you're going to get your first period soon is that you will start breaking out a lot. And if you don't know what breaking out means, it's basically you start getting a ton of pimples and zits all over your face. It really sucks. Like honestly, my skin's been clearing up lately because I've been using Proactive products. They're really good. This video is not sponsored. I just wanted to say that Proactive products are amazing. But sometimes even having a skincare routine will not prevent the pimples and zits you're going to get before you get your period. I never had much acne before the months leading up to me having my first period, and looking back, that is probably exactly why I got my first period when I did, because the pimples were almost like an indicator. This is again scientifically proven that you are more prone to breakouts and getting pimples and zits right before you get your period, or even weeks and months and days before you get your period, again because of hormones.
Let's kill hormones.
So just before your period starts, estrogen and progesterone levels drop, as we went over, like for the this can trigger your sebaceous glands to secrete more sebum, which is an oily substance that lubricates your skin. I'm just learning this too, guys. Too much can result in clogged pores, which causes breakouts. So again, you can thank estrogen and progesterone for the lovely pimples and zits and whiteheads and blackheads that you're going to be getting before your first period comes. And when you just start menstruating in general, like now that I got my period, I'm getting zits all the time. It's just so annoying, but it is definitely a sign. So if you've noticed that you're getting more pimples or zits than you have before, then that is probably a sign that your first period is on its way. This next one that I'm about to tell you is one that I felt like so strongly, and it is that you will feel tired a lot of the time. I was always a super energetic person before the weeks leading up to me getting my first period, but I just started feeling like really low in energy and just really tired and weak a lot of the time, and I thought I was like really sick or I had some weird disease or something. But then I got my first period, and now like the week or two before I get my period, I'm like really tired and weak the same way I was when I didn't know what was going on, but I was still really tired and weak. So if you've noticed that you are like feeling really exhausted or weak lately, that could be a really sure sign that your first period is coming soon. This is again because of hormones. The Fatigue before a period is thought to be linked to a lack of serotonin, which we went over is a brain chemical that can affect your mood positively if you have it. So before your period starts each month, your serotonin levels may fluctuate significantly, and this can lead to a major dip in your energy level, which can also, of course, affect your mood. Because when you're tired and like sad, who would be energized? You know what I'm saying? So it's literally not even your fault. If you ever get told that you should just step up and have more energy when you are on your period or about to get your period, literally show that person this video. It is scientifically, hormonally proven that you are more tired and weak before you get your first period, or before you just get your period in general once you start menstruating, because of hormones. So yeah, don't feel bad about it, but it is definitely a sign that your first period is on its way. And the last sign and symptom that your first period is coming soon is that you will notice that your hip and leg areas sort of fill out, I think is the term. This is something that happens to only female bodies during puberty. So with the onset of puberty, the male pelvis remains on the same developmental trajectory, while the female pelvis develops in an entirely new direction. It becomes wider and reaches its full width around the age of 25 to 30 years, but it starts around the time when you would be about to get your first period, and this is because it prepares to have a baby one day, which is what your period prepares you for. So you about to get your first period, and your hips and legs and that whole area where you would like push out a baby getting bigger is a sign that your body is preparing to be able to have a baby one day, even if it's not what you want. Like biologically, this is just what happens. And so if you notice that your hips and legs in that whole area is getting bigger, that could also be a sign that your internal organs, your internal body is getting ready to have your first period soon. Because if you didn't know, when you get your first period, that is a sign that you are able to have a child. So if you notice changes in your body, like filling out, thickening, widening, that could be a sign that your first period is on its way. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I really hope that I was able to help kind of guide you to see if you are experiencing the signs and symptoms that show that your first period could be coming soon. I said this at the beginning of the video, but I could not tell you how many of these videos I watched. I was constantly obsessed with like, when am I gonna get my period? When am I gonna get my period? And this started when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I didn't end up getting my period till I was 13 years old. And honestly, even if you are experiencing these signs and symptoms and your first period is not showing up soon, it could just be that your body is, as we went over earlier, just practicing getting ready to have your first period someday. Don't be scared or anything if you aren't getting your first period soon. I think if you're around 16 to 18 and you still haven't gotten your first period, that would be the time to go to the doctor. But honestly, my mom got her period when she was almost 16, and everyone is different. Everyone gets their first period at different times. I think the average age nowadays is 12 years old, but you can get your period as young as 8, and you can get your period as old as 18, I think. Don't be worried. It will literally come when you least expect it. I was not expecting it like at all when it came. I was completely shocked. I know it's easier said than done, and I heard people telling me this all the time and I didn't listen, but sort of forgetting about it and just letting your body take its natural course and giving you your period like when it thinks it's ready to have a period. That is the best thing to do. Honestly, just not thinking about it and sort of forgetting that you're ever going to get a period one day is not only the best because of that, but honestly, please enjoy the last couple years, last couple months, last couple weeks before you get your first period, because having a period is really not fun. Once you become regular in your menstrual cycle, you start bleeding out of your body, as I said, once a week, once a month for literally half of your life. And you really only get like 5 good days each month because you have the week of your period and then like the 2 horrible weeks of PMS, or at least that's how it is for me. So you're gonna be so uncomfortable a lot of the time when you start menstruating. Please enjoy and revel in the last times when you're not going to be having a period. It will come when it comes, I promise you. Before you leave, please like this video. And if you made it to the end of this video, comment down below if you have been experiencing any of these signs and symptoms that I went over in this video. I'd love to know if like these facts that have been shown to be scientifically proven actually happen in like real life. So actually, I think it would be really cool if you could comment down below the signs and symptoms that you're feeling, if any, that I mentioned in this video. And then when you get your first period, because you should be getting your first period soon if you feel those signs and symptoms, then come back and edit your comment and let us know when you got your first period. I think that would be really cool. You probably won't remember because like, but just try. And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more period content, period lifestyle vids, teen lifestyle vids, all that kind of stuff. I've made so many other period videos in the past, and I will link all those videos down below for you to check out, and go check out my period playlist on my channel too. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching it, and I love you guys. Bye!